We'll throw the link out real quick in bingo chat. Making sure to call the match the right thing. Okay. So I think that's everything on my end ready to go. So if y'all are ready, I think we can go ahead and get to muting and we'll get started.
Alright, let's do it. Good luck.
Yeah, I'm all set.
Good luck to both
Good
of
luck.
you.
Good luck to you too.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Endurance. Yep.
Okay, I have muted everybody. And I guess I've actually kind of already revealed the card on stream here, but oh well. I think that'll be fine. Think everyone's ready to get going here, so we'll... there we go. Let's go ahead and set this to 90 seconds. And off we go. So, the very first thing, now that we're actually in review time here, goodness, we have 2 Rock on Island squares. I bet Goose is pretty happy about that. There's just like a lot of different games. There's only 2 multi-goal games, which I've been rolling cards that have had like 4 or 5 lately. So, I don't know, it's kind of good to see a little bit more of a variety here. We just have a couple squares and Alphazars with clear any stage with all 5 upgrades active. And we have clear 3 with 6+ extra lives remaining. That's a pretty reasonable synergy to get in Alphazars. Rock on Island, however, is going to be 2 different stages, so you're not going to get both of those in one go. So that will at least be 2 stages that presumably Goose will have a fun time going for with their various restrictions. This has to be Goose going for those, right? I don't know how much Cosmoing and Hugo might want to challenge that. Depending on, like, there's always the mind game here of, do you go for the game that you know the other player wants to do eventually, or do you let them just get it whenever they want? Alright, here we go. Where are we going? We have Alphazar, we have Hotfoot, we have Hotfoot, and we have Pin Golf. For Alphazar, we mentioned those goals before. For Pin Golf, we have 2 consecutive runs with a total result of -18 or better across both runs. And for our Hotfoot competition here, we're looking to reach round 4. In each round, the teammate that gets the first point must score all points that round. So it looks like Hugo is going to be locking in Amy for... or maybe? It seemed like that first point was scored by the enemy team. So yeah, it looks like Hugo is going to be locking in Amy for this. Yeah, no kidding. And on Violett's side here, we have not only Pin Golf, but we also have Golfaria, another game that he is I got that right? Yeah, okay. Double checking to make sure I updated everyone's pronouns, because I still... a couple minutes before I realized I hadn't updated a couple of them from the previous match. Wanted to make sure I got that. Anyway, yeah, we're going to be seeing quite a bit of golfing from Violett here. Between Pin Golf and Golfaria. Cosmoing resetting here in Alphazar's hat, probably looking for a better shot at this all power-ups goal. A little easier to do in stage 1, just with the way the enemies are laid out and how many power-ups you're able to get here. Goose taking a bit of an early lead here in Hotfoot. I think Hugo just now wrapping up the first round. It's only a 2-point deficit, and Hugo just made that up. Okay, Discord, I don't need to see the resolutions that you're streaming. Oh my god, whatever. It's fine. Hugo now pulling ahead here. Making very good use of Amy's special here. Ooh, but a nice double score from Goose. 1 point difference between Goose and Hugo right now. Hey Van Strummer, thanks for the raid. That match was very close between Dom and Val and Keeney and Toots. That was a really good watch. Okay. Haven't quite seen what all power-ups Cosmoing's finished up here. Oh, we're wanting to get a little bit of health here. Pretty low at the moment. Okay, we do have bombs, we have the option, we had the shot, but just not getting what he needed out of that. I don't know, I feel like that wasn't a lost cause, but maybe I'm just wrong. I don't know what he was still missing at that point, because that looked pretty decent, aside from the health situation. Oop, a little bit of slowdown here for Cosmoing. I think Hugo is taking a decent lead here. It's really funny seeing Benji and V both on the enemy team here, considering their rivalry. Another blowout for Hugo. And that's gonna be, is that reach round 4? Oh, okay, pausing. I forgot to start my timer anyway. Alright, and here we go. And there's our mark on Hotfoot, and thankfully for Goose there, getting the quick pivot, knowing what Hugo was in. That conversation did give a little bit of info, but works out. Alright, Goose gonna now knock out the Rock-On. So it's like, even though you know you're, like, by the nature of that conversation, you know you're getting sniped on that goal, it's like, alright, well, I know I can just leave. I definitely appreciate Hugo going for the pause there, just to make sure that everything was above board there. It looks like Hugo is going to continue forward for... Yeah, it would have been a pivot after marking anyway, you're right. But that does kind of, like, minimize the amount of time it takes to notice, just coincidentally. Although everyone here has pretty good bingo awareness in terms of what's going on with the board. Goose is currently going for the Oasis with only bow and wheel as the allowed cavemen, and I think that's probably not something Goose is going to complain about. That seems like a pretty solid roll. Bows and wheels are pretty nice on this map. Violett down to -6. For this goal, we just need some relatively decent, consistent pin golf. We don't need the best pin golf ever played. So Violett is just doing some very fast, but still, like, solid score strats that get you a decent score here. Cosmoing got the mash coming in here. We do still have one spike ball active, and it gets shot out. The nice thing here, though, is that once we get into level 2 here, all we need is one power-up to get the spikes back up again, so we can maybe sneak one extra power-up at the end of Stage 2, and that should clear out the square for Alphazar, and Cosmoing will already be going into Stage 3 with potentially up to, what, you get... I forget how many lives you get out of a maxed-out bonus game here, but we'll be in pretty good shape for the other goal. It's like either 4 or 5, I think. Maybe 6? Do you get 6? Okay. That makes sense. I usually wind up dying a couple of times in my path, in my pursuit of getting the extra lives, so it's always been like 5 or 6 for me. 5 or 6 extras. Wait. Brain. I'm not speaking numbers very well today, as it turns out. Ooh, okay, we found our full shield, so if Cosmoing can keep this to the end of the level, that should be the goal. Hugo, I think, getting a cherry there. Yeah, we got a cherry in Hotfoot, so that's nice to see. For all of the Hotfoot tragedies that have happened in this season of Spicy, great to have that cleared. And Violett getting the the 2 rounds of pin golf done. Now debating where to go here. Look at this giant line here of cavemen from Goose, who just now already wrapped up that level, Ooh. Okay, so Violett now gonna hop into Elphazar's. Goose debating whether to stay in Rock-On. Okay, no, we're staying in Rock-On. Hugo moving over into a Tactics to earn the gift. Beat each of those levels with at least once without... beat each of those levels at least once without losing any flags. Okay. So we just need to not lose any flags during the campaign. So this will be interesting. Violett knows that Cosmoing just marked off clear any stage with all 5 upgrades. But he is staying in Elphazar's right now. Ooh, I didn't even notice that. That's exciting. Hey, Aya, thank you for the raid. Oh. Okay, we got another pause here. Probably another quick clarification. I'm gonna open up the board again real quick just to make sure I can see whatever square might be talked about. Oh, I wonder if that was only actually... Alright, Goose is gonna DM me about a question about one of the squares, presumably. Oh, I wonder if the Pain Golf was actually just 1 round? Or maybe about the Rock-On goal. Okay, accept. I'm allowed to upgrade a Rock Caveman after buying it. Do I have to buy a Fire Caveman and another Spear first? Buying Caveman. Okay, so the question here is, am I allowed to upgrade a Rock Caveman after buying it, or do I have to buy a Fire Caveman and another Spear first? My interpretation of this would be, any new cavemen you get have to follow that order, but upgrades can be in whatever order. My interpretation of this is that new cavemen purchased must be in that order. Upgrades should be fine in any order. And that's the... I think that's just the ruling I'll give on that. Alright. Skip reveal. Starting the countdown. Alright. Everyone's back in it again. If that winds up being wrong, then oh well. But I'm pretty sure that's the spirit of the goal. And also the word of the... like, the direct words written on the card also kind of imply that. I don't think upgrading a caveman counts as buying a new caveman, it's upgrading a current caveman. Yeah, we'll see Goose's positioning for these cavemen here. I'm definitely really curious to see, like, how this is gonna go in Alphazars, because I don't know, I would leave Alphazars if I started it and my opponent checked clear any stage with all 5 upgrades, because you know at that point they're at least on stage 2 or 3. So I'm kind of curious to see what happened, or like, what Violett's thought process here is. I guess maybe the thought process here could be that, maybe thinking Hugo, or not Hugo, but maybe thinking that Cosmoing's not gonna, like, continue after that, or maybe Cosmoing's not going for the tickets. Or maybe, just wanting to see if you can catch up. That's quite a bit of ground. Cosmoing's, like, already pretty close to finishing this stage, even if he takes a death here, which, you know, he just did, he still has 7 lives. So that's gonna be the mark on Alphazar. Does Violett stay? Violett's staying. We're not playing the bonus game. Cosmoing playing the bonus game to get back up to 9 lives. Oh! Wait, I just realized this is probably for Dark Cherry, isn't it? Because Violett got the Dark Cherry in Pin Golf. Alphazar's isn't too bad of a Dark Cherry, if you play it just a little bit safe. Never mind, I understand everything. I take back every question I had about Violett staying around in Alphazars. Let me double check the wording of it. But I believe it has to do with finishing with 9 lives or something like that. Alphazars, win with no continues and 9 extra lives. Okay. This is me being very, not general goal-brained. So I think Violett's just gonna, like, rush through as much of the game as he can. Maybe play some bonus games at the end. Or maybe after stage 2. I don't know, we'll find out. This could be also a Dark Cherry for Cosmoing, depending on how quickly he goes through this. And by quickly, I mean how safely. Okay, over to Quibbles. Goose knocking out both Rock on Island goals, unsurprisingly. We are not going into Quibbles. We are going into Quibbles. Ooh, this is interesting. So Quibble Race, Cherry Disc, but training, thug services, and loans are banned. You can only bet. So we'll see how the track treats Goose here. Violett just, like, zooming through Alphazars here. Doing pretty well on lives for not having picked up any extras in the bonus game. betting on glory for Goose. Oh no, everybody's tripping. Everybody's tripping. Gunther! Glory, you gotta catch up to Gunther! Oh my god! Alright, up to 1200 for Goose. Unfortunately, seems Spotty might not be taking the win here. That's a lot of trips, and I think Rotumbo just has it in the bag. We got a bet here between Princess and Glory, potentially? Now we're sticking on Rudolph for the 9-to-1 odds. That makes sense, because we need to get the cherry. Surprisingly, Princess and Glory tripping quite a bit here. Cosmoing coming up on Alphazar. I think we picked up a couple of tickets so we can play the bonus game if we die at all here. Yeah. This is true gambling percent. Now if you're Cosmoing, even if you did pick up any tickets here, you'd still rather not take a death here, just because that's time you would have to spend playing the bonus game to get the life back. Ooh, there's a death, so hopefully Cosmoing picked up a ticket. Everyone going in on Glory here. I think we're back to race 1, because that was only 100. Yeah. Hello, playlist. How are you doing today? Uh-oh, Grunt Defense coming into Hugo's base. But Hugo does set up some Grunt Defense of their own. He clears it up quite nicely and has a pretty good line of units heading in to finish up this level. Alright, Cosmoing just needs one extra life here. Boop. Alright. Final stage, Demon Tower. If we can... Ooh, the bats! Immediately coming out and giving Cosmoing the business. Alright, another win for Goose there. Yeah, looks like Violett's now going to be cashing in on his tickets. Oh my god, this layout for Violett's bonus game right now. You love being sent down narrow corridors when there's so many ways you can just beef it. Okay, looks like we're taking intentional deaths now. Are we going for Dark Cherry? I mean, I know we can pick up 3 tickets here. I figured we would just, like, go for a full bonus game there just to make sure that we got it. You know what, I'll just sit back and watch. I've already been wrong on a couple things here. Zalfador time for Cosmoing. You know it, Amandine. Taking another reset here. In a Quibble Race. Violett taking quite a few extra hits here. This turtle's being a little bit of a pain. Ooh, nice dodge through the flames there. And Cosmoing about to wrap up the Zalpha core. Well, okay, we're like starting the fight, but you know, it's not going to be too much longer. And we have 4 health, good shot power, we have an option. This is looking pretty great for Cosmoing. Oop, gotta move up just a little bit. I think even if Cosmoing sat here and tanked every shot, he'd be fine. And that is a Dark Cherry for Cosmoing. A death there for Violett, who is focusing quite a bit on schmoovin'. Over to Waldorf now. Cherry Disc with all 3 chests opened, and honestly, might be a great candidate for Dark Cherry with enough shells, because if you're already opening the 3 chests, and yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking, Keeney. I think not going for more lives before was a... I don't know, maybe this wasn't for Dark Cherry? But I'm not sure why- oh no! What happened in Quibble Race? Why are we pausing? I missed whatever happened in Quibble Race, but I assumed I assume it was not good. Yeah, I don't think Violet's gonna get much out of this other than, I guess you get a cherry. We do have Gold Disc 3 different epic play games. We have Cherry Disc. Any 3 games in a single column of the library. Oh, and I wonder, let me see. Let's open up the alphabetical sort here on my end. Game sorts, alphabetical. Where's Pin Golf? Pin Golf... Okay, this is for the alphabetical sort. I now understand. I was wrong twice. Yeah. Oh, and we ducked out! Must have taken a death there, that's unfortunate. Alright, let me get the new games that are currently being plague marked. Oh, dang, that sucks. Over into Overbold, though. Gold Disc can purchase 4 hiked items in 1 run. Not too terrible of a goal. Just gotta get yourself a strong enough start here. And that does not line up in the column, at least. Oh dang, if Violett had had the opportunity to do that, he could have also done a Mooncat Cherry. So, unfortunately, not getting what he was looking out of Alphazar's hat. Hugo gonna be trying to snipe this Hyper Contender Square from Violett, though. Also, yeah, this is definitely the big game that everybody was looking forward to, that it's being celebrated across the states right now. 100%. Yeah, Cosmoing is going for quite a few shells here. So this definitely looks to be a Dark Cherry attempt. Oop, okay. A weather vane somewhere around here would be great. Next up is Camouflage, Cherry Disc with all 3... Wait. No. That's not... I went to go read the Waldorf's Journey goal. Ooh, okay. Maybe not a Dark Cherry attempt after all, but we are gonna get the 3rd chest up here. Oh no! Oh no! Just shy of it! No way! Also, good question, Cherry. Maybe a little later tonight. I do think for what Cosmoing's going for, this would be a great opportunity to snag the other Dark Cherry. I hope he knows that he has the Dark Cherry in Alphazar's hat. He, like, went out of his way to stay at 9 lives. So, yeah, you're right, Keeney. He has to know. Hugo playing some pretty sick rec right now. Like... doing a really good job of, just keeping the right distances here, picking up rings very quickly. It's not like frame-perfect ring grabs here, but still very smooth. Generally just grabbing the rings without too much extra time having to pass. Alright, we're in potential win territory here. Getting juggled a little bit. No way! Elka being a little bit of a butt here. There we go. Yeah, we had a Dark Cherry clear from Cosmoing a bit ago, finishing up the game with 9 lives and no continues used. Cosmoing, there was a shell below! There was a big shell below! I guess we're maybe not going for the Dark Cherry in Waldorf, we're just going for the triple chest. Yeah, Cosmoing just gonna look to conserve as much energy as possible to make sure that he can get up to the chest at the end. I feel like this goal pairs pretty well. Yeah, 101 is a lot of shells, but... I don't know, I guess we'll see. This will at least be a cherry here. Just need one more good jump to the palace. Nicely done. We have plenty of stamina this time. Got a big jump upwards. There's the third chest. Zooming on in. And there's our cherry disc with all 3 chests opened. Well done, Cosmoing. Violett got a pretty strong gun build going here in Overbold at the moment. Cosmoing looking at options at the moment, figuring out where to go next. Another win for Hugo, and that's the last win needed. Nicely done, Hugo. Planet Zoldath coming up here for Cosmoing. Collect the dungeon map piece in under 7 minutes of Zoldath time. Hugo still thinking for a moment. It looks like, I wonder if Goose is actually going for the Dark Terry here on Camouflage. Because I assume she's not been caught here. No, she's not 100%ing the levels. Never mind. And here comes Fist Hell for Hugo. Hey, Sio? It's going great. We got a pretty stellar match coming in here. Oh my god. Is Goose gonna Gold Disc Vanger for us? Let's go. She was pulling up the epic play sort, so I have to imagine we're looking... Goose is looking to be a certified epic gamer here. Good news, flip time. Oh, this owns. So happy to see a Vanger Gold Disc in a spicy match here. Oop. Damage boost? Not happening. Alright. Going back around. Oop. Oh, I guess we're not going Keeny Skip here, because, well, no, we can still... Never mind, I'm lying. We are going Keeny Skip, we just didn't take that because it would have healed us. I'm silly, I'm silly. I take that checkpoint because I'm a coward. Goose knows what she's doing. Ooh, a spike hit, though. One more shot at this, and really don't want to take a death here, because then you'll get set back to the start. Maybe taking it a little bit slower this time just to make sure she gets it right. Oh, and it's a death! I don't think that she was where she meant to be! That is a really unfortunate game over. Basically getting sent back to the start here, so we're gonna have to move through a few more, like those few screens that we took to get over to the heat mod area. Oh, that's rough. Like I said, I'm a coward, I grabbed that checkpoint. Zoldath not quite shaken out there, but that's okay. We're going over to Mortal. Beat 3 story levels, your rituals must always cycle between arrow, bomb, and stone in that order. I think Hugo just jumped into Hyper Contender before Violett expected to need to actually do it. I think Violett was just expecting to get it a little later in. So I'm honestly kind of surprised that wasn't Violett going for that sooner as well. Goose did have the pleasure of knocking out 2 rock-on goals, though. And we do get to see some Violett Galfaria here. Okay, here we go. We got everything going now on Goose's end here. Yeah, it's really interesting, CO. Especially in a 2v2 setting. Nice mark on Fist Hell for Hugo. Also, yeah, this is gonna be, I wouldn't be surprised if Violett was just going straight for the Dark Cherry, just because, like, that would finish off the Dark Cherry goal. And, 35% isn't gonna take very long for him. And especially because you have to collect at least 3 of the 4 power-ups, you might as well just finish out the game if you're sick at Golfaria. So this is pretty cool. I think we're getting to see a Golfaria, Dark Cherry, and Avenger Gold Disc in a spicy match. I am thrilled. Hugo still taking a bit to look around at the board right now. Oop. God, watching this Golfaria movement here. It's incredible. Oh, we're not gonna grab the... Yeah, okay, we are gonna. Okay, we're into Mortal 2. We have Mortal and Mortal 2 being represented here. For Mortal 2, we're looking at Gold Disc with all 3 switches pressed and all 3 mini-bosses defeated, with no engineer pipes allowed during the run. This goal actually isn't too bad. You kind of just wind up going... After you get all the switches pressed, you kind of just go to the top right, fall down, and then you just climb the shaft. So yeah, Cosmoing and Hugo have a pretty decent lead here at the moment. But I'll be very curious to see the late game here. Hey, CO, Matt is Matt literally mentioned he's always looking for an excuse to cherry Warp Tank in Spicy, so... I don't know, I think you're not... I don't think you're wrong for that. Warp Tank's really cool. Cosmoing getting in kind of a situation here. Deciding, screw it, I'm gonna start the level over. Goose got the big stompy flip here. Our old friend Meteor flip. Got big damage. I looked away from the Mortal 2 for a little bit, but I'm assuming we fought the boss in front of the castle. Oop. Did that kill? Uh-oh. That's annoying for Hugo! Hugo's gonna have to climb all the way back up there just to deal with that one enemy that's blocking the portal. Hey Bunner, hey Sachiko. Ramsey's down for Goose. Looks like we're switching to spike damage reduction. Makes sense, gonna boost through those. I assume we've already taken out Yvanger and we're just gonna head north into, well, not north, but we're gonna head up into Theta and lay them and get those 2 key cards. I actually am not super familiar with the gold disc route for Vanger. Something that I should maybe just at least learn to know it. We got some, near the end of another stage here for Cosmoing. I do appreciate that in this spicy goal, the only real chain you can do is arrow into bomb, so, okay, yeah, you see Cosmoing doing arrow into bomb, because he really wants to do a stone next. Alright, now we just got some jumping to do here. We'll be out of this stage. Stone arrow is usable. Fair. That is true. But that is the 3 levels done for Cosmoing. Up into Latum sector for Goose. And, Violett rapidly gaining more completion percentage here in Golfaria. Pretty sure he already has the goal for Golfaria, but just having the Dark Cherry done here will be huge. Which actually, this is a little scary, because Cosmoing is now in Pin Golf. I love that for Vanger here, we just kind of, like, tanked the electricity there. Thanks to the power of heat armor. Taking an intentional death there to get our health back, because we were down to 5 HP. So yeah, if Cosmoing manages to get, what was it? Where are you? Minus 18 or better. That's gonna be huge. And cut off a lot of what Violett is going for right now. Oh, beautiful shot there. And the minus 8. Ah, looks like we still need to hit one more switch here for Hugo. Oh, we've got a lot of backtracking to do here. I feel like at this point maybe you just go down from here instead of going all the way back to the left. Hole in one, no struggle pit today. Another solid hole-in-one here. We gotta wait for the trampoline. And every time I look back down at Violett's screen, he's zooming. Just... oh my god. What is that bounce? What is that bounce? That's incredible, I love that. So yeah, I think it really is going to come down to if Cosmoing gets the -18. I don't know if Cosmoing needs to specifically get it on this attempt, but like, if not this attempt, I think one more attempt. Just at the rate that Violet's moving. I remember Violett mentioning that the Dark Cherry is pretty short if you know what you're doing. Ooh, oh, okay. Not quite getting the two-stroke strat here. But with a well-placed shot here, we can still get 3. Oh no, it's gonna be par! Well, we can get another -1 here pretty reasonably. And it's not the worst to go -2 on the final hole. Although we're gonna need a little bit more than that, actually. Oh no! Okay, I don't know if we're in range anymore. I don't know how doable a -3 is here. No, it would have to be on this shot. Oh, dang. Unfortunate there for Cosmoing. What was that dunk? That was clearly, like, in the middle. That was so in the middle, right? There's a regular cherry. Okay. Looks like Cosmoing actually might not even be going for the dark cherries at this point. So we're moving over to Bushido Ball. A game that Cosmoing is quite familiar and comfortable with. Ooh, that slime position there for Hugo is a little scary. I probably would have dropped the portal somewhere else. Managing to stay alive, though. Okay, I think Hugo's got this. It looks like Goose is heading up to the final sector in Vanger, as Violett is, Well, we got the full T, we've got all of our power-ups. We just need, some more clubs at this point. So Violett's just cleaning up the last remains of what we need. So I don't know, I'm pretty excited to see, like... I'm excited to see these marks from the two Emperors here. I've not been throwing in the team names enough. Spicy Wannabes getting another point on the board. Hugo now hopping into Campanella 3. Clear 9 waves 100%. You can get this as early as the first wave of World 3, but you've still got quite a bit of wiggle room. Here we are at the final boss in Vanger. And good news, it's flip time. Meteor Stomp doing so much damage. One star wave down for Hugo. Flip is awesome, and so it's cool. One more phase here for Goose, and we'll have our Vanger Gold Disc. And our third epic play game completed. I am here to inform you all that Goose is an epic gamer. Amazing work, Goose. That was awesome to watch. Now into Waldorf. This is probably going to be for a general here. This is going to be for 4 games in row 5, I have to imagine. Oop. Watching Waldorf fly around so majestically. You look back down at Violett going into the final area, we've got our 80 strokes. Got all of the collectibles needed here, it's just time to go win. We're gonna, I imagine, be doing the funny little skip here. Nice shot. I think you've earned a terminal code here. TY Canvas. I don't know, Zachary, it's looking pretty close. Oh, I missed how many star waves we got in stage 1 for Hugo. Yeah, considering the other one is 2,200 points, I guess this one's more of just like a one that you're intended to go for more at the start of a match. How many more hits do we need here for Violett? We gotta be getting close, right? Big bell race now for Goose. A nice shockwave counter there for Cosmoing. Raizo's double tap special, very, very strong. Raizo definitely one of the more powerful characters for default rules. Legal cheese. There's our cherry disc, any 3 games in a single column of the library, and our 2 dark cherries, with one of them being Golfaria from Violett. Over into Campanella 2. Gold disc with the legendary armor obtained and no other upgrades. Now the consistent way to do this is going to be to get the key in level 2 and then spend it in Gut to get the guaranteed armor. But I guess if you're lucky, you can get 800 gold and use the key for the warp in Valpolis and then just buy the armor if you get really lucky in a shop. It's not something that you can really count on. Over to Star Wasper now for Cosmoing. I imagine this is going to be a top score and a gold disc for the general in the middle that's still remaining. Everyone's still kind of working on different things right now. Goose working on 4 games in row 5. Violett working on the Campanella 2 square directly. Hugo working on the Campanella 3 square directly, and Cosmoing on the leaderboard square. So this does kind of favor Cosmoing and Hugo quite a bit because they're both uncontested in their goals right now. Hey, Curry. Campanella 3 done? Don't think we have much of a reason to stick around in Campanella 3. Oh no! Did something go wrong there for Goose? Must have just been a death at the wrong time. Actually, it looks like it might have been 2 deaths. Oh no! Because we're 2 laps behind yellow right now. Sometimes Big Bell Race be like that. Yeah, no kidding, I still cannot believe that— I mean, I absolutely can believe that Violett went for the Dark Cherry. But that's still awesome that we got to see that happen in a spicy match. Overbold time for Hugo. So, if Hugo and Cosmoing both get the squares they're working on right now, that'll wrap up the game for them. .43 multiplier for Cosmoing right now in stage 3. Pretty sick. I'm just gonna chain a bunch of E's here for the yellow ship to keep the strong shots. I'm pretty sure Cosmoing has well beyond that. But we do need to still gold disc the game. Oh my god, that was some really, really strong dodging there from Cosmoing, but then there was just a little bit too much stacking up in a weird way. Veered to the side into a bullet. I haven't checked in on Violett for a little bit here in Camp 3, or Camp 2. Looking for our cave with the key, found it. Playlist a little bit late here, but we did indeed get to see some pretty sick Vanger. Yellow ship with the power shot just absolutely tearing through that boss. Okay, looks like Violett reset because we're back to full health here. Get to see the funny checkpoint cheese here in a Big Bell Race. Oh, what was that slap? Alright, race 7 of 8 now. Cosmoing in pretty great shape right now to finish out Star Wasper. At this point, just gotta be a little bit careful around the walls. It's okay, we still have an extra life to deal with the kamikaze strats for the final boss. So hopefully Cosmoing holds on to this. Alright, we've got our power shots. Hey, Envion, thank you for the raid. Welcome to this 2v2 spicy bingo. We've had a pretty intense match here. The score might be 11-6, but we did see some really, really fun strats here from the two Emperors. We got to see a Gold Disc of Vanger and a Dark Cherry playthrough of Galfaria. There's crashing into the boss for the clear on Star Wasper. That is one of 2 leaderboards done for Cosmoing. Hugo still kind of stuck here in Overbold at the moment. Alright, Magic Garden. Don't need to do too much here to get the gold disc and the leaderboard. Very good choice to get the rest of this goal done. Hey, Sophie. Alright, we're done with Big Bell Race. Goose needs to find 2 more gold discs here on row 5. Hovering Rock on Island? You wouldn't, would you? Oh, Goose is giving us a show today. No, we're not. Okay, we're not doing that. I was... Like, I don't think it would be the greatest play, but I still appreciate opening it for making us think that she might do it. But yeah, Velgris is certainly a smarter choice for this situation. Double jump fell just a little bit short there. Thank you, Envion. Thanks again for the raid, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Oop, and yeah, we do have combat ants. If Goose and Violett don't do anything to contest combat ants, then Cosmoing and Hugo might get their majority win pretty shortly here. Of course, you never know what your opponents are in, so it's kind of a mind-reading game. Sometimes there's not really a guaranteed way to know what you need to go into. It's always the fun of bingo here. Yeah, we get to see a good bit of combat ants. I forget how deep in the push is, but we do definitely have a good number of levels that we have to finish before we get there. We'll see, after this stage, I will be curious to see how Surprise treats Hugo. Yeah, CO, that might be a good option. Just, if you... Since, you're kinda just hoping that you can grab as many of these remaining squares as possible. Alright. Violett now is in Gut 2, has the armor, so now we just need to finish the game. Well, let's see how Surprise goes here for Hugo. Alright, we got 2 ants on us. Nope, not quite what we're looking for. And at this point, Violett just really wants to get the stars and get out on each stage. Not much of a reason to stick around anywhere, especially with the tankiness of the armor. Yeah, Gut is scary. It's like... it's one of those things where it's pretty rewarding to go there, but there's a lot of weird little things that can go wrong, like if you get knocked into one of those acid pools that do like 1 billion damage. It used to be my favorite, but then the game started sending me to Temple Grounds more, and I think I actually like Temple Grounds the most now. Yeah, Valpolis is definitely my least favorite of the 3. Yeah, Temple Grounds is so chill. That's kind of, why I like it a lot. You just kind of, like, go there and cruise around, really. Cosmoing very well on pace for score here and the gold disc. So that's going to be a mark for Cosmoing. As soon as everything catches up, there we go. This card... Oh no, I didn't see the first word, but I have to imagine it was something along the lines of "fuck this card." Yeah, that's fair. The funny thing is, I was like looking at this to start and I was like, oh, some good opportunity here for Golfaria and Rock On. Yeah. Can probably tell I was looking at the other games for a bit. Yeah, I saw the Golfaria, the Hyper Contender, and the Rock On, and I was like, oh. This might be a pretty fun card for Goose and Violett, but I think after those squares were gone, then kind of a lot less, that they want to go for. Cosmoing 3 floors away from finishing Velgris. There it is. Alright, 2 more golds to go. Where are we going? Big Bell Race, pretty solid choice. Violett now on Queen Zoo. Just gonna get some mash going on here. Now we're just gonna escape. And that'll be Campanella 2 marked for Violett. And like, even in the worst case scenario here, Violett can bump into 8 walls without it being a problem. Well, before it becomes a problem. So, this square is pretty solidly checked off for Violett here. Back in the quibble zone for Goose. Yeah, It's been a while since I've seen the gold disc route. Oop. Who'd we lose here? Let me double check just to see if they're still going. Yeah. I understand Goose very completely here. this point, it's just kind of a matter of, whenever another square gets marked here. But... let's see if Violet's at least able to get this planet Zoldath square here. We do have the dungeon in sight. We need a way to get past the snail, so the Metamorpher would be great here. Oh, perfect! It'll despawn on the way out. Okay. That's good to know. There's a lot I still need to learn about Zoldath. Looks like we just still have some queens to wrap up here for Hugo. What? What the? Okay, no, okay. For some reason, I thought Violett was stuck there. And I was about to scream at Planet Zoldath. A very normal thing to do. You know it, hun. I'm really hoping for Violett's sake that he can just walk up and get the map piece at the end here. There it is! We just need to be really careful not to get too risky here. Any projectiles? No projectiles! There it is! There it is! Another square for the two emperors! Oh no, I'm gonna have to go back and watch that Cusa Grande VOD, aren't I? I'm glad you got to give out Crazy Frog Racing. Violett is pushing over into Overbold now. Which, again, both Cosmoing and Hugo are uncontested on their current goals. So it should just be a matter of time until we get the majority here, but it'd be kinda cool. It'd be kinda cool if, nah, I think this is the end of the push. So we should have a mark here from Hugo very shortly to wrap this up. There it is! And that is the game.
GG. And GG.
Alright, good game.
GG's.
Whew.
So, I feel like I should just start this off by saying we've been treated to a Vanger Gold Disc and a Golfaria Dark Cherry today.
You did Golfaria Dark Cherry?
What the fuck?
Well, I mean, I guess I shouldn't be surprised, but still. And for the record, I'm also totally not surprised Goose did Vanger Gold when they marked off the epic play.
Uh-huh.
That's gaming.
The first ever canvas skip in a real bingo match, probably.
Hell yeah. Yeah, like... I don't know, just, Oh, right, Violett, were you, looking to get the Dark Cherry at any point in Alphazar's hat, or was that more just for the,
Oh, I wanted to get the cherry for the 3 cherries goal, but I like completely threw on stage 4, so I just gave up on that.
Yeah, fair.
I probably wasn't getting the other 2 goals either, to be honest. I was just there for the cherry.
Yeah, because Cosmoing had marked off, like, the clear stage 5, or clear any stage with all 5 upgrades, and I was like, huh, wonder what Violett's doing here, and then it took me a bit to realize that that could have been for a Dark Cherry, and then it took me even longer to realize the other one, because you had Pin Golf already.
Yeah, Pin Golf Dark Cherry is nice.
Yeah, that was...
I'm so sad. I missed it by not a lot.
Yeah.
Was there any races?
Hotfoot at the start was...
Ooh.
Trying to think what else was a race.
I'm surprised Fistel wasn't one. Like, we saw this square way too late.
Yeah, Fistel. When I realized Fistel was there and there was that goal, I just realized, like, I could have started the game with that, honestly.
Yeah, I think a large portion of that game was everyone kind of, like, vibing in their own goals.
Alright, chill game.
One of the funniest moments of the match was Violett and I were talking, and I said, "Hey, Violett, what are the odds they're going to do that hyper contender goal?" And Violett said, they're probably not going to do it. And then it immediately gets marked.
Oh my god!
Oh yeah, within 2 seconds of me finishing the sentence.
Oh my god.
Well, sorry about that.
Yeah, Hugo played a really mean wreck.
That final wreck versus wreck was so intense.
I'm not expecting Rek. Rek is one of the weaker characters. I would expect if anyone was going for it, it would be a waste of time. So good job on actually getting the goal.
Thank you. I was initially scared to go for it since it was still early game, and I thought Violett was gonna go for it.
Yeah.
Apparently not.
I think if you had left it for much longer, next. Yeah. You got that pretty much right when you needed to, I think. We got to see some sick rock-on, too.
2 rock-ons. I got so scared when I saw 2 rock-ons.
And then we remembered, oh yeah, we had a match against Goose. And the rock disappeared.
This is unfortunately probably the worst card I've ever had.
Ah, damn.
Which is, like, wild to think about, because we did get the 2 rock-on goals, but then, like, you know, after the 2 rock-on goals, if there's, like, not too much else for you there, then, like, that can still be a really rough card.
Yeah. Honestly, even for us, I think this was a pretty tough card.
Okay,
Oh, yeah,
you can say that, but you got majority in like an hour 20 minutes, so...
Well, yeah, but we're gaming.
You know what, this is true.
But, like, I would say none of these are, like... Okay, other than Hugo's Hotfoot, I would say none of these are, like...
We keep the streak on.
Okay, I just want to say, both mortals on this card, both mortals in, like, the match before Dom's last match, and Dom's match, no mortals.
Oh.
It's so true.
Oh my god.
Poor Dom.
Poor Dom. Yeah, I don't think I have too much else to say. Just like, well played, y'all.
GG's.
Yeah,
There's anything else y'all want to say before we sign off here?
No,
good luck
thanks for casting.
in the finals.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Alright, I'm gonna hop out. Take care.
Good night.
Alright, see you, everyone.
Bye, Gamma. Bye, everyone.
Oops. Missed the tail end of that, but... Well played, everyone. Gonna maybe see if there's a good spot to land here. Right, hun? It's so true. I'm gonna throw us over to Hectique, I think. Just, you know, friend of the UFO 50 community. Doing some Terraria right now. Just feels like a cozy place to land. Take care, y'all.